So for me personally, I'm not playing and all that. Be professional about it. When you got someone like Mbeumo who's got loads of pace, prepared to run in behind, which is a big, big plus. If you're looking at running behind and stretch teams, that's always half the battle. You won't have any problems. Surpassing me, I mean, I don't rock myself to sleep, saying to myself, oh my God, Mo Salah's that.
Right, today we've got the pleasure of the company of a true Premier League legend, Andy Cole, man who scored 229 goals in his career for Man United, Man City, Newcastle, Fulham, Birmingham, Blackburn, the list goes on. But Andy, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
I presume you must have watched Arsenal, Man United on Sunday. You know, like an encouraging performance in some ways from Man United, but still didn't get the result. What's your take on the game as a whole?
I thought it was a good game. Obviously, such a big game, first game of the season as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know what to expect for the first game of the season, but like you just touched on there, I thought Manchester United played very well. Unfortunate not to come away with something, but that's football.
That's it. Yeah, positives to be taken. I mean, Ruben Amorim said, based off the back of that performance, he reckons they can beat any team in the Premier League. You see where he's coming from on that?
Well, that's what the Premier League's about. You know, any team can beat any team. You know, and I think that's what makes the league so exciting. So yeah, look, like you said, you know, it was a positive performance first game of the season. No one wants to lose their first game of the season, especially at home. But like you said, you just got to try and take the positives out of it. You know, which was a good, solid performance. And come the weekend, hopefully they'll be able to get their first 3 points.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo both had good moments, but ultimately couldn't break the deadlock. What pleased you about their performances most, and what would you like to see them do better in the coming weeks?
Well, I'm not going to sit and say that anyone needs to do anything better. Like I said, it's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
You know, I think the pair of them played a hell of a lot of energy. Use their pace, power, look to take people on. I mean, push teams back. I think that's always a positive. You know, creating chances. Just try to do the right things. I mean, looking at the weekend, they were coming off at the weekend. Like I said, disappointing, but be very positive in how their debuts went.
Yeah, I think Mbeumo's pace, you could tell Arsenal were a bit nervous just about giving him too much space and sitting off because, you know, that pace will cause anyone problems over the season, really, you'd think.
Yeah, like, you know, in football, it's a little bit like boxing, you know, when they say speed kills.
Mm.
You know, in football, pace hurts.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and when you got someone like Mbeumo who's got loads of pace, prepared to run in behind, which is a big, big plus. If you're looking at running behind and stretch teams, that's always half the battle. And he does that. He did that at Brentford for many years. You know, got the move to Manchester United. Now I can see him doing exactly the same thing.
We saw Benjamin Sesko come off the bench. You know, the whole stadium kind of got energized when he was coming off the bench. You know, given your experience going from Newcastle to Man United, it's a bit different from what he's done. But what kind of advice would you have for him in these first few weeks of leading the line for Man United?
Enjoy it. You know, look, the Premier League's totally different to the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Naturally, it's going to take him a little bit of time to settle. Fingers crossed he's given that little bit of time. But as you know, football now, I mean, people don't really give anyone any time.
No.
So when he does get the opportunity to start playing week in, week out, you know, it's always nice to try and get off the mark as quick as possible. But just try and enjoy it as much as you can do. Like I said, pressure is always going to be on Manchester United centre forward because it's Manchester United. You know, but he's still a young man. He's still learning the game, and you know, hopefully everyone can help him through the next few months and then go from there.
That's it. I suppose getting an early goal will like just relax him a little bit, and then maybe the goals will start to flow. But it's early days, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of the new three attackers, Sesko, Cunha, and Mbeumo, which excites you the most about seeing them play? If you had to pick one of the three, so they're all different, aren't they, in their own way?
Yeah.
Bring different qualities to the team.
You know, I'm kind of looking forward to watching them all play just to see how they all get on. I mean, playing for Manchester United is not easy at the best of times, you know, because you don't get any weekends off.
Yeah.
You know, playing for Wolves, Brentford, you might be able to take that weekend off, you know. Over Man United, it doesn't happen because Man United need to get somewhere. Can't afford to lose football matches. Everyone still wants to beat Man United. So I'm looking forward to see how Hojlund get on, how they all gel, create chances and score goals. Because I think over the past few seasons, that's what Manchester United have been lacking, creativity and scoring goals. And I'd like to think Mbeumo and Cunha, can create chances as well as score goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm looking forward to really watching how those two get on, how they create chances for Sesko up front when he does get himself in the team.
Yeah, and having Bruno in a slightly deeper role this season now will be interesting to see how he brings the best out of them, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, Bruno's been a talisman for many years now. And like you just touched on there, playing in a little deeper position, will that hurt him a little bit, or will that, galvanise him even more? We just have to wait and see. But he's an individual who's been, like I said, Manchester United talisman. Usually when he plays well, Manchester United play well.
That's it. I mean, he's signed a new contract last summer. He's turning 31, I think, in a few months. Do you think he's thinking the rest of his career will be dedicated to Man United at this point?
He's the only individual you can ask is him.
Yeah.
No? Yeah. When we get asked questions like that, it's like, that's not for me to answer this kind of question because
that's fair.
I think I've got to that age now because I've been retired now. When I was playing, people used to ask these kind of questions. Like, no one can answer those questions but the individual themselves.
The man himself, yeah.
Exactly. So I think you'll have to ask him.
Yeah. All right. If I get the chance, I will. But yeah. I'm not sure I will. Alexander Isak, obviously the saga rumbles on. Still looks like he's on strike. Where do you think he will end up at the end of the window? Do you think he'll still be at Newcastle? Do you think he'll be at?
Who knows? Toss a coin.
Yeah.
Toss a coin, say heads or tails. It's a difficult one again, like for me to answer. But if I'm in this position, I'm talking about me now. I'm talking about me. If I'm in this position and a club comes in for me and wants to buy it, there's no way I'm not going to play for my respective club. If you look at Eze, that's the way you do it. You get picked, you play, you perform, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
If the deal gets done, you move on, you say thank you very much, and you go about your business. So for me personally, I'm not playing and all that. Be professional about it. Yeah. That's all you got to be. Just be professional. Turn up, play, keep doing what you're doing, and if the opportunity comes and a deal goes through, you can turn around and say thank you very much. And I've enjoyed my time here. Now I've gone here, but I've enjoyed every single minute of what I've done, and that's that.
That's it. Because I remember back in the day, I was at school. I was like 11 when you went from Newcastle to Man United. It was just such a massive shock because there was no real rumours. It just happened. Yeah. But these days, it's all so different, isn't it? Like it just seems to go on for ages and ages and ages. But at that time, you must have known the deal was kind of being done. But you were still playing for Newcastle, doing your job week in, week out.
I remember I played for Newcastle on the Sunday in the FA Cup, and I joined Manchester United on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're all different. We've all got our likes and dislikes. We all deal with things differently. But I'm not going to sit and say he's been advised poorly or anything like that because I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. Obviously, he and his camp know what's going on, and that's a decision he's taken. Am I saying it's right or wrong? That's not for me to say, but I look at things from my point of view, what I would look to do. And some people might say, you're wrong, and some people might turn around and say, I'm right. It is what it is.
Do you think he might be worried about getting injured? I mean, did that even cross your mind when you were playing for Newcastle with the move ahead?
It didn't cross my mind, no. But don't forget, injuries are part and parcel of football.
Yeah. True.
And his injury record, I hear what he's just saying there, his injury record hasn't been the best for Newcastle, but he's still a Newcastle United player.
Yeah, they're paying his wages.
Exactly. Just get your head down and do the right things.
Early days, obviously, in the season, but the Golden Boot is something that always, gets coverage, and you won it. Who do you think's your early pick for Golden Boot this season?
If I'm going to be honest, I've not got one. Because there's quite a few people who could actually win it.
There's a few, aren't there? Yeah.
And you know that we always get in this position as well. Start the season, we always start talking about the end of the season.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, we're like, why season just start? We're talking about the end of the season. I don't know.
Haaland looked sharp though, didn't he? You got to say.
Yeah, but look, you're playing at Man City team. You're always going to get chances to score goals. It's that simple. It's that simple. Salah's got himself off the mark. You know, so you just don't know who could win it. But whoever wins it, they're going to deserve winning it because there's loads of players out there who could score goals this season. Like I said, me personally, I've never been mad on individual goals because it's about your respective team finishing in a good position, i.e., if you're trying to win the league, we win the league. And if I get 25 league goals and we finish second by a point and I win the Golden Boot, I mean, that doesn't bother me because we've lost the league by a point. So it'd be interesting, but there's quite a few who can get goals this season.
Obviously, Arsenal been talking about signing a striker for seasons. It feels like finally they've got their man, Victor Gykores. He got a bit of stick after the game on Sunday. Didn't really link up very well, obviously, early days as well. Well, what do you think? What have you made of him? What have you seen of him in pre-season? What's your take? Yeah,
that's what I just said to you. He's played one game against Manchester United, and all of a sudden the knives are out.
Yeah.
I mean, no one has that time. You know, people should be talking about him after 5 or 6 games. And after his first game, fair enough, it's all, he didn't play well, whatever. Maybe it is what it is, the first game of the season. I think we're going to have to wait and see with him. We know the Portuguese league is totally different to the Premier League. Adjustment again, settling in. And obviously also playing to his strengths and then go from there. So like I said, I'm not going to sit here and have a go at anybody because he needs time to adjust. And like I said, after 6, 10 games or whatever it may be, then you can start looking at things and say, well, yeah, that's good. Not sure. But after one game, I didn't play particularly well. Is he the right man? I'm like, bloody hell. He's only played one game.
Took Thierry Henry, like 10 games to get his first goal. So, yeah.
There you go.
I get the impression you're probably happy that Man United went for Sesko rather than Gykores, based on if they fit into the system.
It's all about the right players for the right club. And no doubt how those two players are going to be judged. They're going to be judged on how many goals they score. Before people start saying, oh, yeah, well, he should have gone there and he should have gone there. So I think for both of them, ultimately they want to try and hit the ground running as quick as possible. They want to try and score goals. Look, you know what the media's made out of. Media will, I mean, if Sesko has a good start, then they will turn around saying, "Oh, Arsenal should have gone for him," and so, you know that's just the way it works.
Yeah, that's how the media love to spin it.
Yeah, so I'm just looking forward to seeing how both of them get on within the next 10 or so games, and then go from there.
I mean, United have got Fulham away next. They've got a great record there. They've won 8 times in a row at Craven Cottage. So, you know, how much confidence will that record give them? And also, you know, Sesko will be looking at that thinking this could be a good time for me to get on the
You just got to approach every game as you do. You got to approach every game to try and win every game. You know, like you touched on there, they've got a good record there. But sometimes you might be going into a game thinking, yeah, we've got a good record, and it doesn't work out the way he wants to work out. Fulham end up nicking a draw the weekend against Brighton.
Yeah.
For their first home game of the season. So it's not as if they're going to say, right, we're going to lie down for Manchester United so Manchester United can beat us. So I think it's going to be another good game. Fulham played some real good stuff last season.
Got some good players.
To try to keep hold of their centre forward as well.
Yeah, true.
You know, so it'd be interesting, but I think it'd be a good game.
There's been talks about Manchester United building a new stadium or like totally switching up, but you know, Old Trafford's legacy's got irreplaceable value, really. What do you think the way they're going about it is the right way to do it?
I think we just have to wait and see. I mean, that's all we can do on that. Everything's a waiting game. So we wait and see what happens.
Yeah, need to get it done though, don't they? That the roof with the leak is a bit needs to be sorted out.
Yeah, like I said, you know, as you know, I think it's no different now. Building a new stadium to building a new house. Things are expensive now.
That's true. That's
you
true.
know, so we just have to wait and see what position they end up find themselves up in and go from there.
Yeah, yeah. I remember last time we had a chat. We did one of these before, and I remember you had the builder knocking on the door halfway through.
There you go. There you go.
Rasmus Hoijlund, obviously, he's had a couple of years at the club now. Looks like Ruben's not really too keen on him. If you could give him some advice on how to turn it around, what would you say to him at the moment?
Well, that's another one. I mean, giving advice, you always try and give advice, but ultimately you tell and say, so look, you're not in that position anymore. You know, when you're playing, you're in that position. You hear all the noise from the outside saying, "Oh, you should do this and you should do that." I mean, if I go back to when I was playing, everyone's got an opinion on everything, you know, but no one knows what's going on. You know, so I go back to, for me, sitting there, oh yeah, X, Y, Z or whatever. It's not for me to say, you know. If he stays or if he goes, in his head, he knows ultimately what he's going to have to do. If he moves on, ultimately, he's going to have in his head what he has to do if he moves on. You know, only he can get himself in that position whereby he feels comfortable in whatever he's doing. And as centre forward, you're always going to be judged on your goals anyway.
That's it.
I mean, you could be terrible for 89 minutes, you know, get a tap in from a yard, and the 89 minutes previously don't count for anything because you've got the winner.
Yeah.
You know, and that's football, and that's what it is for a centre forward.
Yeah.
So he's just got to get his head down. Like I say the young kids coming up, you know, get your head down, enjoy it. You know, and it's no different to when you're so-called senior pro or younger pro. You just got to get your head down, enjoy it, you know, and given that opportunity, you got to grasp it with both hands.
Yeah, that's it. I think people forget how young he still is, and you know, he's been there 2 years, but really hasn't been as consistent a run in the team maybe as he'd have wanted. But hopefully he can knuckle down and
I don't think sometimes when you play, when you're inexperienced yourself, and you could do a little bit of help from someone a few years older than yourself, which I was fortunate my time at Manchester United. You know, players I play with like Martin Hughes, Cantona, and players like that. I'm learning. I'm constantly learning off these guys, and then not just those guys, but the guys in midfield and at the back as well. I had a lot of senior pros there that I could learn off and I could turn to.
Yeah.
You know,
winning mentality was the thing at the club, wasn't it?
And I think when you go to a Manchester United, like I said beforehand, you're a young individual. You know, there's a lot of pressure on you as a Manchester United centre forward.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you mentioned there some of the other big personalities around the club at the time you were playing for them. What's your favourite memory of Roy Keane from off the pitch? Because we see him quite often now in the media, but back in the day, what was he like off the pitch?
Nah, for me, he's one of the nicest people you could ever come across. I said I've always said that I've been fortunate that I've always had a good relationship with him. So to sit down in his company, have a conversation, have a laugh and joke. I mean, those things for me are always things that I'll always remember.
Yeah.
He is a real nice individual.
Classic memories, man. I've seen United fans debating who's the most underrated Man United player since '92 started the Premier League. And Dennis Irwin gets a lot of shouts. Who would get your vote, though, for most underrated? They called him Mr. 8 out of 10, didn't they, Dennis? He's always put.
Oh, yeah. But you see, what you got to understand as well, a lot of things are driven by the media. You know, and Den has to be up there because he was Mr. Consistent. For what I think they paid $650 for Den.
Yeah, mental.
I mean, and he was
bargain.
He was possibly one of the best left or right backs that the Premier League has ever had. But no one talks about that.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
So
he wasn't the most glamorous player.
Yeah. You know, but he done his job week in, week out to the best of his ability. And his best of his ability was top draw. You know, but like I said, was he the darling of the media? You know, was he that guy who wanted to do things that the media turn and say, oh, he does X, Y, Z. He wasn't that guy. He done his job. Really. You know, so I'd definitely put Den up there, 100%.
He took a mean free kick as well. People forget that he was decent, wasn't he?
Free kick, penalties.
Yeah, penalties. Yeah. That as well. It's only a couple of weeks until the Manchester derby already is coming around quickly. But if United play like they did against Arsenal, they can get a result against City, can they?
You can get a result against anybody.
Yeah.
Like the manager's already touched them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what you got to factor in football as well is sometimes that little bit of attention to detail. Sometimes, you know, there might be that one mistake that costs you or whatever it may be, but you can beat anybody in football. You look at the cup final. Did anyone expect Crystal Palace to beat Manchester City?
That's true.
No.
Good point.
Did anyone expect Crystal Palace to beat Liverpool in the Charity Shield?
Not really, no.
No. So, I mean, it's a fresh start. It's a new season. The derby comes up. Of course, Manchester United can win.
Yeah, anything's possible. Just, you touched on the cup final there. Just Hojlund didn't take the penalty, did he, in the cup final? He left it to Omar Marmoush, which is a weird one because, I mean, I know you weren't a penalty taker in your day, but for him, penalties are like part of his MO. So why do you think he didn't take it in the cup final?
It depends where his head was like. If he'd missed one previously,
yeah,
all those things are factors as well. You know, just on that given day, they might have said, "Okay, you take penalties or whatever it may be."
Well,
That said, yeah,
Pep
sometimes it's that, those small ddetails could win you a game or cost you a game. Yeah. And a penalty, look, anyone can score a penalty, anyone can miss a penalty. I don't think, for me personally, a game's not going to be defined by a penalty miss. Or a penalty being scored, because it all depends on the duration of the game when it is. I mean, if it's early part of the game, you still got enough time to try and get yourself a winner or equaliser or whatever maybe.
Yeah. It's a weird one though, isn't it? Because he's so hungry for goals. You'd think he would have just stepped up. But I don't think he's actually scored in a cup final for Man City either. I don't think he's scored at Wembley. So maybe there is, like you said, a little bit of a psychological...
Yeah, could well be. Could
be. Going back in time a little bit again, Sir Alex Ferguson, obviously an icon of the club, massive name, massive figure, massive personality. How do you think he would have dealt with the current squad and kind of what would he have, the hair dryers, what everything talks about, but there's the tactical element and the man management and the motivation.
Most probably the same way he dealt with teams when he first came into management to when he ended management. I've said many times when we've been asked this question that the way he dealt with things, the way he grew and changed with every generation was a testament to him. Fantastic manager. If he was managing now, he'd be exactly the same.
Yeah. Just you think he would have, even though obviously the times changed, but he was a trendsetter in his own way, wasn't he? He would have still just managed.
Yeah, because it's as you know, generations change, and it's ultimately for older generation to try and move with a newer generation, especially in football as well, because personalities change and, you know, how you speak to people changes. You know, I remember when I was a kid, coaches, managers could say whatever they want to say to you. Now it's totally different.
Yeah.
People talk about HR and all those kind of things. So you got to be able to, you know, talk to people in a respectful way and still try to get the best out of them.
Yeah. I think he would have been able to find a way to do that for sure.
Yeah, and that's society today.
Quick word about Jadon Sancho. Must be a frustrating situation for the club and for him, trying to figure out where he goes or whether he stays or what's going to happen. But if you're in his shoes, you've got to be thinking he's got to go and play some football, get some minutes elsewhere. Turn down a move to Roma because he doesn't want to lower his wages. But at this point in time, his career is sort of, he needs to get it back on track, doesn't he?
Well, it's another one of those questions where ultimately for me, I'm not trying to answer a question for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, he has his reasons. And the only person you can ask is him, and he'll try and give you an honest answer. For me to speculate and say, well, I think. It's not about what I think. Really, who cares about what I think?
Yeah, you know, he might do. He probably looks up to you as a legend. So
yeah. So it's about the individual, about what they're thinking, what they're going through, aims and ambitions. So like I said, you know, I'm not sitting here to try and answer a question for an individual who finds himself in that position, because ultimately he will tell you in the end what he's trying to do.
when you see Newcastle fighting for European spots again and winning trophies, do you feel pride because you represented that club, or do you, as part of you, still see a club that let you go too early when you could have?
No, I don't look at it like that. I think watching Newcastle win the League Cup last season, I was very, very happy for them.
Yeah.
If you speak to any football fan, they'll turn around and say, "Oh, bloody hell, delighted Newcastle finally won the cup," because they're virtually everyone's second team. See, I played there under Kevin Keegan, the way they used to play football, and I mean, nicknamed the entertainers at that time.
Yeah,
it was always everyone's second team, and the passion of the fans in the Northeast as well for Newcastle is just phenomenal. So when they won the League Cup, I was very, very happy for them.
Yeah, same with Palace as well, I suppose.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Long with you and Palace winning the FA Cup. I don't think you could hear anyone turn and say, "Oh, I didn't want Palace to win." Everyone's like, the first trophy they've won in their club's history. Of course, you're going to be happy for them. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah,
and you could be the hardened fan of any respected other football club. Crystal Palace have won their first ever trophy, so be happy for them, and everyone was.
See how much it meant to the fans in the crowd and stuff like.
There you go, and that's what football is. Football's about dreams.
For sure. Back to Newcastle, do you think playing in Europe this season might cost them the chance of having a solid Premier League campaign, or do you think they've got enough to fight on both fronts this year?
We'll have to wait and see, because in that time you've got more games. I think Eddie Howe's been trying to bring in players. That's true, because you need more numbers, because you have more volume of games.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. Pre-season hadn't gone the way they would have liked it to have gone, because they hadn't won a game pre-season. Drew at the weekend. Ultimately, again, playing the way they did at the weekend, all that was missing was someone who could put the ball in the back of the net. And you end up finding yourself in positions like that. But yeah, I think they'll be okay. They're a good team. They proved it last season. And like I said, reinforcements that they've brought in will make them a better team.
That's it. Callum Wilson's gone, I think, hasn't he? Gone to West Ham, did he?
He's gone to West Ham, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe they do need a bit more up front, but hopefully other players can chip in with some goals. Darwin Núñez never made the grade at Liverpool in the end. He's gone over to the Saudi Pro League. Do you think he's found his level over there? Do you think that's where he'll end up?
I'm not sitting here to say he's found his level. He's not found his level. He went to Liverpool, and I think he did well at Liverpool. I mean, people are going to talk about, "Oh, yeah, well, he missed some gilt-edged chances or whatever it may be." He gave 100%. Every time you watched him play, he gave 100%.
Yeah.
And he got himself in those positions because he could get himself in those positions. Yeah, guaranteed he didn't take every chance that he got, but you can't take away he scored some really important goals for them as well.
That's true, yeah.
That's football again.
Does it disappoint you to see players like Ivan Toney, John Duran go over to the Saudi Pro League, at the peak years of their career? Fair enough if they've done it until they're sort of 31, 32, but some of these players are going now when they're 24, 25.
Yeah, look, the decisions they make, I'll go back to, you can only ask these guys, why have you made those decisions? For me, I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, you should never have done that one." If I find myself in that position, I don't know what I would have done. So I'm not going to be trying to be hypocritical about anything, because when you're in a certain position, you don't know what decision you would make. So for me, at my age, outside looking in, you try and say, "Well, he's made that decision based on X, Y, Z." Said I'm not one of those ex-pros who turn around and say, "Oh yeah, but he should never have done this, should never have done that." But I had my time.
Yeah, no,
I thoroughly enjoyed my time. So I'm not going to sit and have a go at anybody.
Yeah,
for making decisions that they feel are best for themselves.
Oh, they got their family to consider, and the future generations. So
there you go. I think I'm old enough and stupid enough to know what I'm saying now, because sometimes you say something and then someone misconstrue it or make it out the way they want to make it out and say, "Oh, Andy Cole said he's an absolute idiot for going there." No.
But I guess it's just like the opportunity might still be there down the line, but also it might not be. So you take it.
There you go. And that's the kind of decision you need to make between yourself, your wife, or your girlfriend. You got to think about everything. So for me to say, oh, no. I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah. Fair enough. And I think you said before that one of the most clinical finishers in Premier League history was Robbie Fowler. Is there anyone in the Premier League at the moment that can come close to him in terms of, just seeing the goal and small, low back lift, bam? I remember his goals were some of them were.
I don't think so, no.
No.
He was probably an individual that I used to watch closely. I mean, finishing and
left foot, right foot,
headers. Yeah, he was quality.
All of it. I remember the hat trick he scored against Arsenal in '94. It was like 5-minute hat trick, and I was watching teletext because there was no Sky then. And I was like, "What do you mean, Fowler?" Like,
his quality was So I'm not sure. Look, the game's changed now. If you notice now, everyone's crying out for that number 9. Crying out for them now. So
one of the young up and coming strikers, Chido Obi Martin, he went from Arsenal to Man United, didn't he? Because he thought he would have maybe he still will have a clearer path to the first team. How much have you seen of him? Maybe in the under 21s and stuff like that. And what a talent! What could he be?
Yeah, I saw clips of him last season. Obviously, he made his debut for Manchester United as well. He's definitely one for the future. Another one, it's just about getting that experience, learning, improving. When called upon, giving everything you've got. But he's definitely one for the future.
Yeah, maybe you can learn from the likes, Joshua Zirkzee's around there. There's a lot of strikers there now, so hopefully you can get some experience from them as well.
Yeah, and ultimately that's what you're looking at. You've got to learn from these guys. You've got to learn, like I said, of your midfield players, and they're asking you what kind of runs you can make to try and make it easy for them, or what it may be, or the fullbacks or something. So it's all about learning from the experienced pros that have been in there, done it. I remember when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn from all the experienced pros and gather all the information I could do of them and try and bring it into my game.
That's it. The likes of Peter Beardsley and stuff. You scored goals in the Premier League built on physicality, really. Today's game is built more on systems and stuff like that. If, the 1999 Andy Cole played now in 2025, would you score more goals or less goals?
I'm an individual. I'd always turn around and say I'll back myself to mostly score more goals. The game now is just changed so much. But then you can factor in return and say, well, VAR. I mean, that would take goals away. Because if you're talking, I don't know, your kneecap and stupid things like that, or you're going to be ruled off because your kneecap, or if you're size 6 and you're size 10.
Yeah.
All those kind of stupid things, you'll have more goals choked off. So it's
true. And little fouls on the goalkeeper and stuff.
Yeah.
That might even be your fault unless it's getting choked off.
So I'd sit down and say, I think I would, but then I'm turning around and say to myself, well, I'm not sure, because the ones when you're half a yard onside, they're giving, he's offside. So you just don't know.
Do you think linesmen used to be a bit more give the benefit of the doubt to the striker back in the day? Because
of course it did, but it's not down to the linesman anymore, is it?
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, so
so it's down to a camera saying, well, he's a size 10, that's why he's offside. But if he was a size 6, he'd be onside. Straight away that's the nonsense, because that's the benefit that the centre forward should have.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw at the weekend, Mo Salah equaled your record of 187 Premier League goals. So he might overtake you soon, but records are there. We all still remember you as the icon that you were. What do you think of Mo Salah, though, and how much has he got left in the tank?
He's been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. I think with Salah, he's got as much in the tank as he wants. I mean, looks uber fit.
Never gets injured, seemingly, really, does he?
Yeah. Hungry to win games, hungry to score goals. If he keeps going like that, he won't have any problems. Surpassing me, I don't rock myself to sleep, saying to myself, oh my God, Mo Salah's that.
No.
I don't care. I literally don't care. What makes me happy is I've been retired, over 15 years now.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm 53 now.
Right.
And I look at it and turn and say to myself, shit, I'm still up there.
Yeah.
I'm still up there. 187 goals, 1 penalty, and all that. Was never a penalty taker. So I look at that and turn around and say to myself, shit, that has stood the test of time.
Sure.
Now, if I'd taken penalties, I'd have had a hell of a lot more. So
yeah, I was thinking that you could have got to 230, 240 maybe.
there you go.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm very, very proud of my record. Very, very proud.
Any regrets about not taking penalties?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Fair enough. Right. What about if, obviously you played for Manchester United and Manchester City. Right now, say you could teleport back in time, although no, you could just rewind your age so you could still play. Would you rather be playing for Man City or Man United right now?
Man United. I mean, there's going to be obviously it's going to take time as a project to be built.
Yeah.
You know, and you want to be able to. If I'm a young centre forward now, spearheading that project for the next, I don't know, 5 years or whatever. And then ultimately, you know, if you get that project right within the next 5 years and you've helped them get themselves back to the pinnacle. Yeah.
I was going to say, obviously the target for this season is top 4, but in the longer term, getting back to challenging for the title, do you think that's the 5-year plan at Man United? Or it could happen?
Yeah, it has to be. Has to be. Everything's a process, and you know you got to run. It's got to run its course. Now you can't to close gaps within a year, 2 years. Man, it's got to be superhuman. There can't be no PSR.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, if you're going to close the gap that quickly, so it's going to take time. If you look at obviously Liverpool winning the league last season, you know, brilliant. Never been bringing any new players. Liverpool now spent 300 million improving. Yeah, and you turn and say to yourself, tell you what, are they going to be a better team? Of course they're going to be a better team. Now, they've gone here, spending 300 million to improve themselves. Now, the team in second place has got to try and catch them. Yeah. The team in third place has got to try and catch the team in second place and first place. So it's a bit of a domino effect. And it's going to take time to improve. I mean, Liverpool won the league. Liverpool didn't win the league, sorry, for what was it, 30 years?
Yeah.
And then they've got themselves in a position now when people are saying this season Liverpool are going to win the league again and could possibly dominate for the next 4 or 5 years. And football goes in cycles. You know, last season everyone said, "Oh, Man City are going to win the league." Liverpool won it. But before that, everyone was saying Man City. Now, is it Man City's time has come to an end? Might be, but you just don't know. So it's about building blocks and closing the gap. I think Manchester United will be closing the gap, but it's steadily within the next 4 or 5 years or what it may be. You've got to close that gap.
Yeah, moving in the right direction, but you can't rush it. It's got to be a step-by-step process. What was I going to say? Oh, talking about money spent. I mean, Sunderland, you were there briefly. They spent 130 million in the summer, beat West Ham 3-0. You know, everyone always says the teams that come up almost written off these days, straight back down. But Sunderland looked like they could actually give it a good go this season at staying up.
You know, all the teams, Sunderland will give it a very good go. It all depends on, like I said beforehand, results going their way, a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
Experience, inexperience. There's many factors in the teams when they come up to staying in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know, 9 times out of 10 is winning more games than another team in your position.
That's it, yeah. Well, you talk about experience. They got
it's never going to change.
Granit Xhaka, you know, played for Arsenal, got lots of experience. So signings like that.
Yeah, so that's not going to change. So we can talk about, they're going to go straight back down. Well, we never know. But if you win more games than the other teams around you, you will stay up.
Yeah.
It's harder for teams that come up. Of course it is, because you're trying to buy players that to come to your club, not knowing if they're going to be good enough to stay up. But if you stay up, you look to build on that. A
little random stat I saw. No one scored more Premier League goals in August than Andy Cole. 25 in 44 games. What do you think? Would you put that down? Did you think just start the season, nice weather, you were just ready to go?
I don't know. Like I said, the start of the season is tough. Start the season. You know, you're just in for position. You're always looking to get off to a good start. So I don't know. You know, I think my aim at the start of the season was actually just get fit, stay away from injuries.
That's it.
But my thought process was always, I'm looking to get into double figures by Christmas. So you're mentioning August there. I didn't even know because I'm thinking long term. If I'm in double figures by Christmas,
I think sounds like you were in double figures by September.
yeah, I'll be more than happy because I know the second half of the season is obviously a little bit harder.
Yeah,
you know, and then you need to start getting even more goals then because you want to get yourself in a position to help your team win matches.
Did you feel like you went extra hard in pre-season, getting yourself ready? And maybe some defenders weren't going too hard.
Pre-season was hard work, man.
I
wasn't a lover of pre-season. It was hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't the best on long distance running and things like that. But pre-season is about individuals.
Yeah.
If you can get yourself fit as an individual, get your head right, shape yourself and be worried about, right, I need to get myself good for the start of the season, first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've got to do. And I always try to do that mentality. It's okay. It's not about what I'm going through pre-season, hone my skills, get myself ready. But I'm thinking about the first game of the season.
Yeah. Off the mark, sharpish. Truthfully, do you feel like football is not as entertaining right now as it was in your heyday? Because I remember, I feel like there was way more goals, way more games that were like 4-3 and end-to-end thrillers and stuff. And now it seems like even last night, I tried to watch Everton Leeds, but it was a bit of a
it's changed. It's changed a lot. It's a little bit sterile. Yeah, sometimes watching all the team try and play like each other, it's like, come on, man, think outside the box. You all can't be sheep.
Yeah,
someone do something a little bit different. I think playing football when I played it, people say, oh yeah, everyone played 4-4-2, but everyone was trying a little bit something else. Someone played a long ball and flick-ons or whatever. Someone want to get it down and play and all that kind of. So it was always different.
Yeah, more variety of styles. It's true.
Sorry.
There's more variety of tactics and styles in those days. You had like Wimbledon, like you said, and then Big Sam Allardyce came and he was doing something different. Tony Pulis.
There was a mixture of everything going on. And like I said, you look at the Premier League now. Not if you take away the Premier League. Yeah, if you go Championship and League One, you got Championship and League One trying to play like that as well. You're like, come on, everyone can't play the same way.
No.
We've got to be a little bit different. We've got to want to be different.
Yeah. Maybe too much kind of stats and percentages and those kind of.
Everything's based on stats as well now. We've become very Americanized.
Yeah, I think you're right. A quick question I forgot to ask you earlier, but Gianluigi Donnarumma, obviously a goalkeeper that's in the Champions League last season. He kept Arsenal at bay. The goalkeeping position at Man United is something that's come under a bit of questioning. Is he a kind of goalkeeper that you think someone like a Schmeichel-esque type guy is needed in goal at Man United?
He is a top goalkeeper, and I'm a little bit I'm not a little bit surprised. I'm very surprised that he's ended up in the position he's ended up in PSG. I'm like, his performances have been unbelievable.
Yeah,
but then again, you don't know what's gone on. Wherever he ends up, he will be an unbelievable goalkeeper for whoever he plays for. You mentioned Manchester United there. You don't know because as a goalkeeper, you've got to know what he wants. Obviously, when you're at that level, you're Italian national team goalkeeper. You're going to look at yourself and say, well, I won the Champions League last season. I want to be involved in the Championship this season.
Yeah, true. True.
He's perceived as one of the best goalkeepers in the world because he's just that.
Yeah.
So what ultimately what he ends up doing, he will do. But he is definitely a top draw goalkeeper.
And you'd love to see him at Man United, Coley?
Man, of course I would, because he's a top draw goalkeeper.
Yeah. But he could. I mean, if say Man United do get back in the Champions League, that's a big temptation. Maybe.
Of course. But I think if it doesn't happen from now to close the window, for instance, he's gone somewhere by then. So you just don't know. So you'll have to wait and see. Football's a game that things can happen out of nowhere. So you just have to wait and see.
All right, I've just got to ask you a couple of questions to finish off, because this we're going to put this up on the esports website. So have you ever played FIFA, or do you still play?
Nah, bro, I'm so old school. Yeah, I can't even play them games like FIFA and all that.
Oh, even back in the day, though.
Yeah. I'm so old school, man. There's too many buttons now.
Yes, true. It's true.
There's too many buttons now.
Back in the day, what were you on the N64 and those ones?
Yeah. Commodore and all them kind of things.
Oh, even back Amiga days. And
Yeah.
all right, so you're proper, I suppose, veteran. I remember, when the Super Nintendo was coming out and those games, man, it was a bit more easy to get on board with, wasn't it? Than
Then these ones now, so there's too many buttons, up, down, left, down, nah.
What about your son? Does he ever challenge you on
No, because my son's decent at it, but like I said, because I'm so old school, man, Jesus, there's far too many buttons for me. Far too many buttons.
Fair enough, man. All right, man. Well, thanks very much for your time, man. It's always insightful talking to you, and appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you.